Okay.
It's okay.
All right.
All right, we are live. Hey guys, how are you doing? Welcome to the live. Y'all know who I am, Allegra Jackson, the marketing medulla, as well as the founder of WIN. And I have a special guest with me today. This is my mama. And I want you guys to meet her because she's been such a huge supporter in my life, my success, but also she's a sponsor for the WIN Atlanta Garden Party.
Yay!
So I'm going to have her introduce herself to everyone, and then I'm going to go over and start sharing this on some of our other live streams. Please just support, share the live as well, because we have the garden party coming up next week. We are only 1 week away. So that means that if you haven't gotten your tickets, you better get them now. We still have a few left, and we also have amazing sponsors that we're going to be showing you guys so you can see, what you have in store to experience. But first of all, I'm going to let my mother introduce herself before we talk about what she's sponsoring and her new brand. I'm so excited for her. So go ahead, introduce yourself. Let everyone know who you are.
Oh my God, I'm so shy. Okay, so my name is Allegra Jackson, Senior. And my profession, I guess you can say, is working with women. I've always worked with women. I think that we are just so special and unique, and I just love working with us. And so I've been doing that for years. I continue to do that, and in addition to that, maintaining my career and doing that, I'm a mom, as you can see. She's my oldest. I have 4. My youngest is 25. Married to the same baby's daddy.
Baby daddy.
For almost 40 years.
That's your husband, though.
Almost 40 years. What's that, married? Almost 40 years. And he is amazing, ladies. So I'm just letting you know, there's some good men out there. Aside from that, I maintain my career and being a mom at the same time. So yes, I believe it's possible. I strongly encourage that. Now I'm at a stage of my life where I'm facing retirement. So now what? One of the biggest mistakes I think that I've made was not investing in entrepreneurship, or let's say passive income or investments or stocks and things like that. Like I was
getting the hidden money.
Yeah, I wasn't financially educated. I was financially challenged. So that's my biggest mistake. So I guess I'm doing a little catch up at my retirement. So that's why I'm here. And that's why I'm a part of WIN.
Yay! Mama's in WIN, y'all. So, I love that too, because we serve all women, all walks of life. Mom started that because I remember she told me, be there for the girls, okay? So we do have a lot of resources for women entrepreneurs, especially at no matter where you are in your life. If you want to start a new business, which you are doing, you're starting new things, right?
Yes, I am.
It's not just about the business itself. It's also about life, right? You didn't even mention changes and challenges. I want to go through that a little bit to see what kind of changes and challenges you've experienced in your transition, because you're leading to retirement now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I am, but I'm still going through those changes and challenges. I don't even know.
Talk about them. What's like one challenge that comes to mind when you think about like this new transition in your life? Because in me, my eyes, you've always had things under control. So
yeah, challenge. Well, I don't really see any challenge. I think for me, life is a challenge. I'm that person that I challenge myself. So I set goals. I've always set goals. I said to my daughter, my life had turned out exactly the way I wanted it to be.
I thought it was me. It's not me, it's hers.
I planned my life, and it has turned out exactly, well, I can't say exactly because you can't control people, but for the most part, I've achieved all the goals I've set for my life. So I really haven't. I think that whenever you set goals, there's going to be challenges, and it's just the norm. So for me, I'm like, bring it on. When I moved to Atlanta from New Jersey, that was a goal for years. I talked about it, and when it was that time, I cut all my hair off. not all, but
I remember that.
this much. I was ready. I was ready. I was ready for whatever the challenge was. So for me, right now, I'm just positioning myself, I guess you could say, for whatever the challenges might be.
Yeah, you talked to me somewhat about moving. Like you were saying that you in the future wanted to look at some alternatives and. So can you tell us a little bit about what that looks like? Because I'm sure the people are kind of going through the same thing.
Everything is in my head right now, but that's where everything starts too, right? Okay. So don't forget prayer, because those early mornings is when God speaks to you. Okay. But anyway, I've been, I thought that I would grow old and retire here in Atlanta in the ATL. I thought that I would, my dream car was going to be a Mercedes, a drop top.
I thought it was a red Corvette.
Well, I wanted a red Corvette. She's right. I wanted a red Corvette, but life happened when you have 4 children. I could not, I really just wanted a drop top. And the Corvettes was kind of like where I knew I was driving, that was a drop top. So I ended up getting a Chrysler Sebring. I loved it. I loved that Chrysler Sebring. Yes. It was the next best thing. And when God bless you with something, you better be grateful. I was grateful for that Chrysler Sebring. I had one. The motor went, and guess what? I went out and bought a second one, just like it. But God was gracious to me because I was grateful, and I did end up with that drop top Mercedes.
Yay! Yes, ma'am. Y'all know how we celebrate the wins over here. So thank you, Mom, for sharing all of that. I think it's amazing that people can learn from your journey, and also as an extension of me, not an extension of you. She has learned so much, guys, from our development together. Okay,
well, that's life.
So as we grow, right, and I learned so much from you as well, because even at point in your time where you could just be relaxing in your retirement, right? Like a lot of people do. You're like, no, what's next?
Oh yeah, no, no. For me, retirement is refiring, not retiring, but refiring. And I guess the advantage is that you do retire from what you were doing to something else. But to me, it's just a transition. So I don't know, like everyone's perception of retirement is different. For me, I'm just a giver. I'm a giver. I feel like I'm blessed to be a blessing, and I'm going to always be giving and contributing to society and people and pouring into people. That's just who I am. So after retirement, I'm just looking to see where else can I, plant and water, So that's really what my thought process is retiring from what I've been doing, so I don't have to show up, somewhere. But even in my mind, like I said, my life is filled with challenges. I challenge myself. So whatever endeavor I choose, I'm still going to be challenged. I still have to show up. The only difference is not for someone else, for me. But even where I am now, my whole career, I never showed up for other people. I've never had a job where I had to clock in, be somewhere. I was always in control of my own time. So for me, showing up anywhere is about me being present no matter where I am. So it's just a transition from someone paying me to show up to me paying myself to show up.
I love that. Actually. That's a really good take on like the whole mindset shift on what that looks like for people and for you.
Yeah.
You're going to be at the garden party. So if y'all come into the garden party, you get to meet my mom. You get to also talk to her about her experience. She has a plethora of experiences, y'all. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Like we're just at the bottom of the mountain, actually, but we're going to get to the top with her through the networking that we're going to be doing at the party.
I'm old.
I can't even. Okay. So listen. So this is what I do. This is what I do and do. I want to pull out one thing before we show them your new thing that you're going to launch, because this is something really new, guys, and we're bringing it to you first live stream in the WIN community so that you can understand the woman behind the brand as well as the brand itself. So I want to ask one more question, okay? Because you talked about you being a giver.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So tell me, what it looks like to create boundaries around that. Like
that's a big one.
Because I know we all have struggled with that, right? Like a lot of women, we caretakers, we are naturally thought to do that. But how do you create boundaries around that?
Well, fortunately, in college, I studied psychology. So that's one of the things we have to learn when you're counseling other people. You have to kind of deal with your own issues, because when you're hearing other people's problems and you're a giver and you have a heart for others, you can be absorbed in that. And then it can confuse you. You can sort of put your own issues on them. So we really have to learn to set boundaries and to deal with our own issues so that it doesn't come into play. So I kind of learned a little bit. That was part of my training ground. But also, just in life, when you try to help people who don't want help, you find yourself depleted. And then you start getting upset and angry at who? Me. Because they didn't ask for my help. You know what I'm saying? So I had to learn the hard way that, don't cast your pearls upon swines, and not necessarily calling people swines, but basically you get my gist, let people ask for your help, be available, and I had to learn that, and that helped me to know when to help. Even though I wanted to help, people be like, ask for your help, So I had to learn to set boundaries that way. And then I had to realize that I was exhausting myself. I was giving up myself so much that I didn't have anything for me, So I had to do some self-analysis and sit back and go, wait a minute, girl, what's going on, And that sort of helped me, that self-talking. You sit and get your little sip of wine, you go, girl, what's going on here? Sometimes you got to ask yourself that question. Being honest and transparent with yourself, that's the way to go.
Yeah, I love that. So you had some experience in training and teaching to really gain that component of skill set to say, okay, wait, I got to sit down and go within.
Yeah.
I have to drink a glass of wine and just say, girl, why are you giving so much of your time away? What is going on? Because I heard you mention that other people are going to people and life is going to life. So now that we gotten those questions out of the way, now we know that how you help yourself. Now let's talk about how you help others, okay? Because you created a brand. Let's show them the cards. Let's show them what you have, okay? So this right here, guys, if you can see it, it says, to be honest. This is what?
It's a card game. It's a card game. And it's a fun activity that engages you in conversation with other people. You get to learn from each other, you get to learn about yourself, and it allows you to grow in a fun and engaging way, not an intimidating, threatening way. If you don't want to grow, you don't have to. But the game challenges you to do some self-analysis, to learn about other people, to realize you're not alone, and then later on to engage in more in-depth conversation.
Absolutely. I've been actually a beta tester as a part of this new brand. And so I'm really proud of you, first of all, for doing this, because being a part of the process and growth, I realize how much is needed. And also, y'all, hint, she's still looking for beta testers. So if you are interested in understanding this quality type of game, that's going to not only be fun, but it's going to enhance your relationships and your understanding about who you are. We had some amazing revelations while we were doing some of the beta testing, but I want you to share some of the things that are attributed to these cards. So you have the red deck, which says general questions.
Yeah, so this deck just has general questions. You would play this with anybody. If you had a group of friends over, family members, anybody, you just kind of get together and say, hey guys, let's learn a little bit more about each other. And you just pull it out, and then your scores go from 2, there's 2 points, 3 points, and 4 points. So the more honest you are, the more points you score. That's pretty much how I go. So this is the general version, and I'll just give you an example of a 2-point question.
Are you going to ask me a question, or?
Oh, sure. Let me ask you a question.
Oh God, I was just asking if you were going to ask.
No. So what happens is she pulls the card. So you're going to pull a 2-point card.
Okay.
And then you have to read it.
Okay. So this is my question. What's one thing you value most in a friendship? So what am I supposed to do next?
So what she has to do is she has to first say, to be honest, before she answers the card. Because remember, got to be honest You answer with yourself and others.
Okay.
So she has to say, to be honest, first. If she doesn't say it, then I get to call her on it and get her point.
So what's one thing you value most in a friendship? Communication.
You didn't say to be honest.
To be honest, communication.
Double points, baby.
Okay, got it. Okay. Let me try again. Let me do the 4-point card so I can get double. Okay, but can I try again in the real game?
What do you mean?
Like if I lose my points in the real game?
No, you cannot. 1 and you're done. Okay. Move on to the next person because there's other people in the group. It's not a therapeutic session. I have to charge a little bit more for that one.
Oh no! So I don't get the answer.
You get to answer that one question,
but I lose my points.
And if she doesn't answer the question, you can challenge her. It may be a really good question. You may say, you know what? If she don't answer it within a minute, I'm going to challenge her. And I'm going to answer the question.
So this one I lost out on. I answered the question, but I lost the points.
Well, you could have answered that. It's just you lost a point because you did not say to be honest.
Okay, but I still answered my question.
But you can still answer the question.
Okay, so I think that's important because, and y'all see, we're still in beta testing, so I love this because all the attendees at the garden party is going to get their own copy of the game so that they can play it and experience it. And I love this because for me, I get to see where my head is at.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? With all these. But then here, okay.
When you're going to do a 4-point, did you want to go ahead and answer your 2 points?
I did. I said communication.
You did?
Yeah.
I didn't hear it, but okay.
Because she was trying to correct me so fast, y'all.
So let's put our listening ears on, right? And there are some rules that you want to go over before you start the game. One is being, attentive. The other is no judgment. Her answer is her answer. No judgment. Okay. So if I answered that question, communication, then that is my answer, even though I lost the point. Yes. So yeah, you get 2 points for answering the question, but I get to take one of those points. So you only get 1 point. So you get one of my points now? Yes, I get one of your points. Because you called me out? That's right. Okay. So I'm going to remember it now. So this is the question. If you could achieve one thing in the next year, what would it be? Now, that would be a 4-point question. So you see the difference between a 2-point question and a 4-point question, a little bit more thought-provoking. Okay. To be honest, in the next year, I want to be on a stage speaking to an audience of over 100 people. Nice. So now I know a little bit more about her. And I kind of want to ask you some more questions. I want to say, is that going to be a test? That's what I'm saying. That's why I made it so big. That's why I made it big, y'all. Connections, they don't know what I got on my sleeve. That's the whole idea, is to learn that about her, and then later on after the game, I'm going to go back, and that's when we're going to connect and develop more. And I think that was fun because coming back around, if I did lose my point the first time, I'm going to really want to come back and get more points because now I got a 4-point. I done up the ante now, y'all. Y'all can't touch me now. Can't touch this dude. Right. But the only way that she's gonna up her ante would be to answer the 3 and 4-point questions, which are a little bit more challenging. You're a little bit more vulnerable. So the point system does encourage you to be a little bit more transparent and vulnerable. But again, we're creating a safe environment for that to happen. Okay. And guys, we're only going to do this live for about 30 minutes because we just wanted a quick introduction. I want you to ask your questions. You'll be seeing this on a replay as well leading up to next weekend. And also, like I said, if you haven't gotten your tickets and, because we only have a few left, it's not really Mrs. Ornice, shout out to her, one of our other sponsors. She took care of 12 ladies almost on this roster. So we appreciate you. Lashana West, our speaker, all of our other sponsors, but you have a couple other decks I want to ask you about, and then we'll wrap it up and you tell them how you want them to support you in this process. So the 2 decks you have over there, it looks like Work-Life Balance and The Crew. Yeah. So I want you to talk about that, but I did have a question. What about relationships with your partner? It's coming. Okay, because I'm like, coming. Because listen, I need the one for the boo. I need the one for the husband, honey. I need the let's sit down and let's play our game. Okay. Okay, go ahead. Okay, so I guess we'll start with the work-life balance. I think this is really cool if you still are working corporate or someone who's working corporate. This is a really good game you can play either in your meetings or events that you might have, but it's also a fun activity you can do as an icebreaker. So basically, what you would do is everyone would get a card, and then you would turn on the music. Everyone kind of walk around, and the music stops, and whoever you stop next to, you get to read your card, share with that person, and they get to read their card, share with you. 2 minutes, 1 minute each, and then the music gets to going again. You walk around, so you can have a room of 20 people, and you're just moving around and stopping, sharing, moving around, stopping, sharing. And what that does is it encourages you again to have more conversation later about that person and get to know your coworkers who you may never have even thought to
Why
ask that
music
question to.
though? Like, you know, what about
Music
the
is a
stuffy
universal
office environments?
language. Yes, sir. It's a universal
Because you know, I'm in my
language.
business too. I don't want to dance around the office. Like what?
Well, you don't have to dance. You can walk, you can skip, you can hop, you can do whatever you want to do. The whole idea is that we are moving, and music is universal language. So we got some rap, we got some jazz, we got some rock, we got some everything, lullaby,
Yeah.
whatever you want, you know. And that's what we want. We want diversity. We want everyone to feel comfortable. But we just playing music and we're moving, and it's just a fun way because we're always so serious, right? I mean, life is serious, but how do you deal with life in a fun way? To be honest.
Yeah, you make it fun.
Gotta make it
So
fun.
you have work-life balance, you have the crew, and then you're getting more like relationships wise.
Yes.
I heard you talk about playing in the car at one point, like travel
Oh
games.
yeah, it can be a travel game. So if you took, let's say you took the deck, right? And this is one on crew, right? So let's say you got your crew.
Mm-hmm.
You know, me, I'm in a sorority, so I got my crew.
What sorority you in?
Delta Sigma Theta. Y'all know. So of course I got my crew, and we get together and we have a lot of fun. But I'm sure you have your crew too. You may have 4 or 5 people that y'all get together. Y'all do trips with. Y'all go out to dinner. Y'all do a lot of things. You just some friends that you've been kicking it with for a while.
Yeah.
So I have a crew version, and maybe y'all going on a road trip, you know, so you can just kind of pull the card and then ask, you know, the question in the car. So in this case, there's no point system. You're just having fun, asking a question, learning about each other as you're driving to your destination. Mm-hmm. So here's an example of a 2-point question. Again, as a travel game, there's no points. Just give you an idea of what some of the questions are. So this question says, what's the most memorable thing we've done together as friends? Mm-hmm. Okay, so you know that's going to make me share with my crew what I felt was one of the most memorable things that we've done together. You know, for me, it was taking a cruise with my line sisters. You know, that was a memorable thing for me. So that's a 2-point but easy question. But the 4-point question would be, what's a way you felt judged by others in this group that still bothers you? Yeah. How many of you have actually gone to your crew member and said, this bothers me about this group, right?
What?
This gives you that opportunity.
That need to be a 20-point question because, baby, y'all be making it so hard.
But see, if it's your crew, right, you get to ask those questions and they go, well, Allegra, you know, it just seems like you always calling the shots when we go someplace. And that really bothers me when we're in a group together. And I go, really? Me? All right, I didn't know that.
So this game at this point in time, it's so intentional that if they call you out, your ears are more open to listen,
right?
Because you're not in a mode where you're caught off guard,
right?
Or you would be defensive if you're the person receiving the information.
Remember, the rule is no judgment.
Yeah.
So, and if it's your crew, I hope that you guys trust each other. You know, if it's coming from somebody off the streets or someone who's a hater, you ain't going to receive that.
Yeah.
But if it's your crew and you're playing that game, you know, maybe you're going to learn some things about yourself that your crew never felt they could tell you. Yeah. You know, some of us as women are not approachable. We just are not. So games like this sort of give those opportunities to have those hard conversations that we may not normally be given the platform and the opportunity to have.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
So, guys, we are going to be tuning out soon, but I just want to reintroduce. This is my mother, y'all. So definitely thank her for having me, because without her, there would be no me. And y'all would not be blessed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what to say. But I will say, I just want to shout out to those of you who did tune in today. Thank you so much, Nisa. Always a huge supporter, wonderful WIN member, and just holding it down as always. Thank you for bringing the games so that we can see the intentionality behind building relationships. We need this. And we didn't even mention that my mom will be coming to the garden party as a sponsor to also do the game with us. We're going to be using this as a icebreaker to build relationship and to see how the game actually works. So for those of you who will be there next Saturday, I am really excited for you because you get firsthand opportunity to see how the game works. So definitely we'll be tuning in some more with you guys. If you have questions, ask them in the chat. We'll be available to answer those questions for you. Anything that you would like to leave us with? Well, I want to say words of wisdom, but first, before I ask that, any way that people can support the launch of this To Be Honest card game, because right now it's in beta testing and crowdfunding. So what would you like people to do?
Bye.
You can't say bye yet. She always trying to make the money, y'all.
Hey, to be honest, I want you to buy. Okay, I want you to buy for yourself, for your family members. Why? Because, like I said, I like helping others, and this is a fun way. I was a counselor for battered women for over 15 years. I would be somewhere and someone would go, "That's Allegra. She really saved my life." Or, "Allegra, you don't know that one thing you said really changed my life." I never know how I impact people. You never know how you impact people, but people need people, and I realize that. And so therapy is very expensive. Not a lot of people want to go for therapy. We are all still recovering from the pandemic. I'm not okay sometimes. I have to have my therapist. You're not okay sometimes. We all have issues. This is just a fun way to get us to connect. We need to connect, so I'm encouraging all of you to get this game when it does come out. But aside from that, if you want to be a beta tester, I really need to make sure that this thing really is effective in the hands of the people who get it. I want it to help them learn more about each other and about themselves. If they feel like they need therapy, then fine. Let this be the beginning of them realizing, hey, I didn't realize I was that controlling. I'm talking to myself. Okay. But games like this helps you learn that. Not everyone has a daughter who says, "Mom, that's a little controlling."
Where's she at?
But I do invite people to share with me how they really feel, but not everyone's approachable, and some people you can't say what you want to say. So this is just a good way of having a fun, game to learn about others and to learn about yourself. And we do need that. And then just so you know, there will be a workbook to these games. To the general one, there will be a workbook. So
like a self-help.
Yeah, like a self-help. So as you're playing the game and a question comes up, like, how do you deal with conflict? And you realize, I don't, No judgment, but, we need to be able to realize that conflict is not a bad thing. And this game may be the start of you realizing that, so.
That's wonderful. Okay. I just had to sit back for a second because she was over here triggering me, talking about something, I daughter this, I daughter that. What you talking about? So yeah, thank you a lot for that, because it's true. Like, truly what you're saying is so true in a lot of areas. And I've realized that, like, I think you've kind of put a lot of that in me, where I'm able to be boisterous enough about what I feel, what I do, what I see, but everyone is not that way. And so you do want to be able to have something that can encourage people. I'm really excited about this.
Yeah, me too.
Y'all listen, I don't even know how to explain it. Y'all know how I do when I get excited. So yeah, be a beta tester. Make sure you guys buy, because she said what she said. And I know that the crowdfunding campaign is going to be launched very soon. So I'll alert you guys when that goes live. And also, even before the crowdfunding campaign, if you're interested in being a beta tester or actually getting one of these, I want you to DM me or reach out to the older Allegra Jackson. I'm playing.
Mama. I am old.
No, she's not old. But honestly, with these cards, though, either one of us is fine, because I am totally involved with this. I love this thing. And also, I know with your crowdfunding campaign, they can actually get 3-in-1. There's a deluxe with the self-help book.
Yes.
So once that
the self-help book, yes.
once you guys get that crowdfunding campaign link, just go ahead and grab it and be one of the first exclusive ones to get it. I think we're only doing 5,000 for the year. So,
and I appreciate your support already.
So now that we're at the end,
gotta claim it.
Yeah, of course we will claim all of it. It's happened. It's already there. So now we're at the end of the live. Let us know what words of wisdom you would like to leave with our listeners.
Words of wisdom, I would say, just be real, be yourself. You know, there's only one you in this whole wide world. Do you know what it took for you to even get here? It's only one you in this world. So be your authentic self. You know, don't try to follow the crowd. You know, don't try to this social media and all this other stuff, these lies and narratives is out there. Take time to be honest and transparent with who you are. You ain't gotta like everything about you. I don't like everything about me. But guess what? I have the authority to make those changes for me, not for nobody else. So I would just say, be your authentic self. You know, so as you travel life, that in the end you can say, I've given it all. I've given it 100. You know, and that's what's important.
I totally agree. All right, great words of wisdom, y'all. But we're gonna get out of here. I think we cut off at a great time frame, about 30 minutes. And so now that you guys have heard my mother speak, Miss Allegra Jackson, Mrs. Allegra Jackson, right? Now you get to know more about her brand because you know the woman behind the brand. The W.I.N card game is going to be launching in July, I believe it is. So you guys can make sure you get the first. Have the first. You put your hands on it. We want you guys to have the opportunity in the WIN community, and make sure that you give us your feedback. Okay, we're going to see you guys at the garden party. Have an amazing week. Bye.
Bye.